Sup, this is David, and today I want to talk to you about seeing the path and release muscles. So, in psychology, there's this concept of release and tension. And a lot of the times, when we have traumas, especially at a young age, a lot of us, we go into defense mode. And when we go into defense mode, it's kind of like when you're lifting weights. When you're lifting weights, it's like, say, for example, you're doing a curl. You're doing a curl and then you have this upward movement. And when we get trauma, it's like we have this defense mechanism going on. But because we have been stuck in that trauma mode, that defense mode, we never had a chance to be able to release it. And a lot of us were stuck in this defense mode rather than growing mode, right? Because in order for this muscle to grow, you need both the movements, right? You need the upward movement and you need the release. You need the downward movement. And so we have to be able to work on our release muscles. And a lot of this comes down to getting rid of the defenses, getting rid of the ego barrier that gets in the way. And this is a lot easier said than done, but you have to be willing to put yourself out there more, to be more expressive in a way, right? It's more about letting go, not really caring about what other people are thinking, but just releasing yourself. And to give you another example of this, I'll take a little concept from, I believe it was biology of belief. And we're gonna go into some biology here, but when somebody is under stress, again, this is like the defense mechanism of our body. When somebody is under stress, then the immune system actually shuts down. And so when surgeons are transplanting a specific organ to another person, they would actually inject in the recipient stress hormones. They would inject in them stress hormones into the recipients. So why do they do this? Why do they inject stress hormones into recipients? Because the immune system shuts down when it's exposed to stress hormones. And because they don't want the recipient to reject this new organ, they inject them with stress hormones so that their immune system is shut down and so that they can actually receive the transplant without any defenses. And so that is saying that when you are under stress, your immune system shuts down. And in biology, it's either one or the other. You're either in defense or you're in growth. You can only have one at a time. And because most people, it's the same with psychology and just life in general, because most people, we're stuck in defense mode, it's hard for us to get into growth mode. And because we can only do one or the other, a lot of the people are stagnant. That's why we're not growing as much, because we have this huge ego around us that we're not willing to let go. We're not willing to die to our previous self in order to become the better self. And so we have to be able to see the path. A lot of people cannot see the path because they're focused, their RAS is fixated on defense. It's like when you're playing a game. Some people play the game not to not lose the game, which is essentially defense mode. I mean, they both come in handy. You need both defense and offense, but a lot of people, they're stuck here. But where instead you should also be focusing on how to win, not just not to not lose. And so there's a subtle difference in these two paths. But most people, we can't even see the path because our selective focus isn't focused on it. And to give you another example of how myopic we can be into seeing that there might only be one path, that this defense mechanism has worked for me in the past, so I'm going to continue to use it, is I'll give you an example of like a GPS. Let's say you're driving with the GPS on and it tells you to go a certain direction, right? But then this GPS, it's a very bad GPS. And so it takes you along this longer route. And it takes a lot longer time than as if you had control of the map. So it's like we're stuck in this, going this one way. It's like a GPS going only this one way and knowing only this one route, Whereas if you can actually take conscious control of this and you can actually zoom out, you can actually see, hey, this GPS isn't the best strategy. It's not the best efficient, fastest route to our destination. There's actually better ways to get there. So you want to be able to zoom out a little bit and not stay myopic into a certain route. Just because you've been doing it for such a long time doesn't mean that it's the best way. There might be other ways to this. So you have to be open-minded. You have to be willing to let go of the ego. You have to be willing to not just be in defense mode, but being more out there, being more expressive, and letting go, working on those release muscles. And in this way, you can actually grow a lot faster. You can actually start to play the game to win, not just to not lose. And therefore, I believe you can actually have a more fuller of a life, more deeper of a life, rather than just staying defensive all the time. So that's it for this video. I hope you found some good value out of this one. And if you did, I would appreciate a like and a sub. And thanks for watching. I'll talk to you in the next one.